Good day, friends, and welcome back to Conflicts of the Human Race. Today, I will tell you about the entire story of the Crimean War, 1853-1856. Now buckle up as we begin. In the turbulent mid-19th century, the Ottoman Empire teetered on the brink. Dubbed the sick man of Europe by Tsar Nicholas I, who harbored ambitions to carve up its vast territories, especially the strategic Black Sea straits leading to the Mediterranean. The immediate flashpoint was the guardianship of Christianity's holy places in Palestine, Bethlehem's Church of the Nativity and Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Catholic France, under ambitious Napoleon III, demanded restoration of ancient privileges, pressuring Sultan Abdul-Mecid I to grant them the keys in 1852. Outraged, Nicholas dispatched his godson, Prince Alexander Sergeyevich Menshikov, a one-armed naval hero of 1812, to Constantinople in February 1853 with demands for Russian protectorate over all Orthodox Christians in Ottoman lands, a blatant overreach. Menshikov's arrogant negotiations soured relations further. As talks collapsed, Russia massed 100,000 troops along the Danube. On July 2, 1853, Russian forces crossed the Prut River, occupying the Danubian principalities of Moldavia and Wallachia, neutral territories under international guarantee. The Sultan, backed by Britain and France's diplomatic protests, issued ultimatums for withdrawal. Nicholas dismissed them as bluster, believing Europe too divided to intervene. Tensions escalated as Ottoman armies mobilized under Grand Vizier Mehmed Emin Ali Pasha. The world held its breath, sensing a conflagration that could engulf empires. Little did they know, this would birth a war of staggering brutality, introducing rifled muskets, steamships, railways, and telegraphy to the battlefield, forever changing warfare. Prince Menshikov arrived in Constantinople amid pomp and suspicion, his mission a powder keg. The city, straddling Europe and Asia, buzzed with intrigue as diplomats from London and Paris urged caution. Menshikov presented ultimatums: recognize Russia's exclusive protection over Orthodox millions, cede administrative control. Sultan Abdul-Mecid, a reformer caught between tradition and modernity, wavered but ultimately rejected the demands on May 14, 1853, after French and British guarantees of Ottoman integrity. Humiliated, Menshikov departed, but not before issuing threats. Nicholas I, confident in Russia's military might, boasting the world's largest standing army of 800,000, saw no retreat. He ordered General Mikhail Vorontsov to prepare invasion. Meanwhile, in London, Prime Minister Lord Aberdeen's cabinet debated intervention, fearing Russian dominance in the Mediterranean would threaten British India routes. Palmerston, hawkish Home Secretary, pushed for action. In Paris, Napoleon III saw opportunity to bolster prestige post-minus 1,848 revolutions. As summer waned, Russian hussars and Cossacks amassed on the Prut, their green coats and spiked helmets glinting under Balkan sun. Local populations, Romanian boyars, protested the occupation as violation of 1841 Straits Convention. Austria and Prussia urged Russian withdrawal to avoid general war, but Nicholas pressed on, declaring principalities under temporary protection. The stage was set for explosion, as Ottoman janissaries, though reformed into modern Nizami ceded, sharpened scimitars and loaded Enfield rifles acquired from Britain. War drums echoed across the Danube, heralding bloodshed unseen since Napoleon. July 21, 1853. Russian troops under Prince Ludovic of Hesse crossed the Prut at Ismail, flooding into Moldavia. Bucharest fell without resistance, welcomed by some orthodox but alarming Europe. Nicholas proclaimed it defensive, but it was naked aggression. Britain and France sent squadrons to Basica Bay near the Dardanelles, a show of force. Austria mobilized 200,000 on the Russian flank. Prussia equivocated. Sultan Abdul-Mecid, 29-year-old Anglophile, declared jihad October 4, but first issued ultimatum October 18 demanding evacuation. Russia refused. Ottoman forces, 150,000 strong, entrenched along Danube forts like Silistra, Issaxia. Commander Omar Pasha, Croatian convert to Islam, brilliant tactician trained in Vienna, prepared crossings. Winter approached, but war fever gripped Istanbul. Minarets called faithful to arms. Arsenals churned Minier balls. In Sevastopol, Black Sea Fleet under Admiral Pavel Nakhimov readied 90-gun ships. Nicholas, aging but resolute, told Ambassador we have 700,000 bayonets. Yet cracks showed. Serf army poorly equipped, officers aristocratic amateurs. Europe formed concert to check Russia, but inaction bred Russian boldness. Occupation solidified. Russian rubles circulated, Orthodox priests blessed troops. Romanian principalities became base for further thrusts toward Bulgaria. The fuse burned shorter as first shots loomed at Oltenitsa skirmish November 1853, where Ottomans repulsed Russians across frozen Danube. Casualties mounted, pride swelled. The Crimean inferno beckoned. October 23, 1853. Sultan Abdülmecid formally declared war on Russia, mobilizing 400,000 men. Celebrations erupted in Istanbul, Bashibazouks, irregulars, howling for blood. Allied fleets grew. HMS Retribution, French valorous patrolled. Austria threatened war if Russia advanced south. Nicholas ordered Danube offensive. First clash. October 24, Kalapani, Ottomans held. November 2, at Oltenitsa, 10,000 Turks under maimed Pasha smashed 8,000 Russians, killing 2,000 in brutal melee. Petersburg spun it as victory, but morale dipped. Nakhimov clamored for action. Sultan unleashed fleet. 15 frigates under Osman Pasha sailed Black Sea for Sukhum, then Sinop. Britain protested Russian Black Sea presence, violating 1841 treaty. Aberdeen's government teetered, public opinion swung via press reports. Florence Nightingale pondered nursing calling. As leaves fell, Ottoman steam frigates cut through choppy seas towards Sinop harbor, unaware of trap. Russia held numerical edge, but qualitative gaps yawned. Ottoman artillery, modern British-made Paixhan's guns. War now official, alliances forming. France eager, Britain reluctant but committed. The bear stirred, eagles poised to strike. November 30, 1853. Battle of Sinop, Black Sea's Trafalgar. In Sinop's harbor, 16 Ottoman ships, 7 frigates, 3 corvettes, anchored tightly, crews praying. Nakhimov's squadron. 6 ships of line, Avni 84 guns, 2 frigates encircled at dawn. Fog lifted, Russians opened with Paixhan's shell guns, explosive havoc. Ottoman TAFE exploded first, flames leaping 200 feet. Within hours, all Ottoman vessels blazed, 3,000 sailors dead, harbor charnel house. Russians lost 38 killed. Nakhimov knighted Cross of St. George. Shockwave hit Europe. Times screamed, massacre. Palmerston roared for war. Aberdeen fell, coalition formed. Nicholas rejoiced, but hubris blinded. Black Sea now Russian lake. Allies vowed revenge. Sinop galvanized intervention, war globalized. Sevastopol toasted hero, but seeds of defeat sown in overconfidence. Sinop's flames hadn't died when Allied fleets surged. British Mediterranean squadron under Vice Admiral James Dundas, French under Charles Napier, no, Armand Parsifal Desjeans, merged at Basica Bay, 89 warships, 200 transports. February 1854, entered Black Sea despite Russian protests, anchoring off Constantinople. Troops embarked, 27,000 British, 30,000 French. Napoleon III declared war March 27, Britain April 4. Public fervor. Send the fleet. Raglan, Crimea veteran 1815, commanded British. French General François Certain de Saint-Arnaud, consumptive ex-legionnaire. Targets. Crimea, heart of Russian naval power. Sevastopol, fortress city with 1,000 guns, aqueduct-fed. Allies planned amphibious strike. Russia scrambled. Menshikov overall command, 34,000 in Crimea. Spring bloomed as armadas sailed, carrying fate of empires. Declarations sealed doom. London, Queen Victoria signed March 28, effective April. Paris, Napoleon martial law. Russia mobilized 150,000 more. Allied force, 60,000 troops, 140 guns landed. No, sailed. Ottoman Omar Pasha diverted to Danube. Austria neutrality for Principalities handover. Prussia neutral. Allies opted Crimea over Danube to strike fleet. June-July. Varna plague halted embarkation. Cholera killed thousands. Raglan's and Tarnord quarreled. September 7, 5 ships from Varna, 57,000 men. Landed Old Fort Eupatoria September 14 unopposed. Menshikov 33,000 at Alma, 20 miles east. Sevastopol beckoned, but first blood. Allied armada cut through swells toward Crimea. British Royals, Sans Peril, French Ville de Paris led. Troops below decks, redcoats, zouaves in baggy pants. Raglan seasick, St. Arnaud coughing blood. Scouted Sevastopol, too fortified. Chose Calamita Bay near Eupatoria. September 14 landing, 27,000 British/French, 2,000 Turks under steamship cover. Beachhead secured, tents pitched on steppe. Cossacks probed, retreated. Advanced south toward Sevastopol, Alma River barrier. Menshikov barred heights. Weather clear, dust clouds rose as columns marched. Eupatoria secured, Allies pivoted. September 1920, Sixticum march south. Supply lines stretched, thirst quenched from streams. Scouts reported Russians atop Alma cliffs. Battle loomed. St. Arnaud planned flank, Raglan center. Dawn, September 20, Allied 57,000 versus 33,000 Russians. Guns thundered. Battle of Alma, September 20, 1854, first major clash. Russians entrenched on heights, redoubts bristling guns. French light division stormed Kouagain heights ferociously, bayonets flashing, St. Arnaud spurring from litter. British struggled up ravine, Codrington's brigade mauled but pressed. Enfield rifles outranged Russian smoothbores. By noon, Allies crested, Russians fled in panic, Menshikov wounded. 55-0 Allied losses versus 57-0 Russian. Path to Sevastopol open, but hesitation fatal. St. Arnaud ill, urged siege. Raglan concurred. Russians raced back, Tottleben improvised defenses. Victory at Alma squandered. Allies halted 5 miles from Sevastopol, engineers surveyed. Russians burned bridge, scuttled 80 ships across harbor, creating boom. Tottleben, engineering genius, threw up bastions overnight, earthworks batteries. Allies maneuvered north to Balaclava Heights, October 19 siege began. Trenches dug, big guns landed slow. Typhoid, dysentery ravaged camps. Menshikov reinforced to 120,000. Winter loomed. Siege of Sevastopol launched October 17. Allied 200 guns bombarded south side. Russians replied fiercely from Flagstaff, Malakoff bastions. Little damage, Allies ceased. Liprandi's 25,000 Russians attacked Balaclava October 25 to sever supply. Battle of Balaclava, October 25. Russians stormed Turkish redoubts atop Sapun Ridge, captured 20 guns. British 93rd Highlanders formed thin red line, repelled 25-0 Cossacks/Hussars. Heavy brigade cavalry smashed Russian squares gloriously, Scarlet unstoppable. Then calamity, light brigade. Charge of the light brigade. Miscommunication. Raglan ordered recapture guns. Lucan sent Cardigan's 670 horsemen straight at 40 Russian guns bottom valley. Into Valley of Death, thundered 17th Lancers, 11th Hussars, Scots Greys. Sabres slashed, pistols popped, horses tumbled. 110 dead, 160 wounded, but guns taken momentarily. Tennyson immortalized folly. Russians awed. Britain's heroes. Balaclava stalemate. November 5, Inkerman, fog-shrouded, soldiers battle. 35,000 Russians assaulted 45-0 British on Home Hill. Hand-to-hand ferocity, clubbed muskets, bayonets. French intervened flanks. Dannenberg repulsed, 12,000 Russian losses versus 25-0 Allied. Trenches deepened. Winter 18, 54-55. Hell. Blizzards, frostbite, amputations. Commissariat failed. No fodder, meat rotten. 2,000/weak invalided. Nightingale's ladies arrived Scutari, slashed mortality 42% to 2%. Sanitary reforms. Nicholas I died March 1855. Alexander II sued peace, but fought on. Spring 1855. Sardinia, 15,000 joined allies for unification favors. Canrobert replaced Pelisir aggressive. June, Kerch captured. Russians raided. Allies massed 200,000 guns. September 8, 1855. Climax. French 12th Division stormed Malakoff redoubt after mines. MacMahon cried, "Come on, boys." Waves crashed earthworks, hand grenades, close kill. Russians counterattacked failed. Gorchakov ordered evacuation north. Sevastopol fell September 11. Russians burned south side, retreated dockyard. 200,000 casualties each side. Allies victorious but Pyrrhic. Pelisir entered ruins. War wound down. Alexander II recalled Gorchakov. February 1856 armistice. March 30 Paris Congress. Palmerston, Napoleon, Austria, Prussia, Russia, Ottomans, Sardinia. Treaty April 16. Black Sea neutralized. No warships, forts raised. Principalities united, Romania precursor. Russia humbled. Reforms spurred serf emancipation. War's toll. 500,000 dead, mostly disease. Introduced photography, Fenton, nursing, trenches foreshadowed W1. Empires shifted. Ottoman lingered. Britain/France peaked. If you liked today's story, make sure to check out our other videos on our channel. Have a nice day.